Hi, this is ML Reads back with Chapter 12, Part C of the Elementalists Book 1 by Pixelberry Studios Choices app. As always, if you want to watch any of the other videos in this series, I will link the main playlist in the description. And for everyone else, let's continue on with the final part of this chapter, Chapter 12, Toil and Trouble. Continue playing. Okay, so context. Eli and Atlas are going to sneak back into the Hall of Mirrors tonight to see if they can find any more clues about what's going on. To do that, Eli has bought like a stealth outfit from Aster. But then while she was getting the outfit, Aster started having like a premonition again. She was doing the branching thing. And so Aster's asked Eli if she can help her organize the shop. And that's what's happened. Okay, so the free option is help Aster organize the shop. Sorry, I can't stay. And the premium choice is help Aster organize the shop. I'd be happy to, which of course we are going to take that right now. So help Aster organize the shop. I'd be happy to. Eli, if I'm being honest, I could use a distraction. I'd much rather be here with you than freaking out about tonight. Aster, then I'm glad I can help. You follow Aster to the other side of the shop, where the bookcases tower above you, piled high with various objects. Aster, how about you start by organising my extracts? Just sort them by colour. Aster gestures to a shelf full of glass vials before turning to a rack of clothing. The hootling on your shoulder hops onto the shelf and starts pecking at the vials. Hootling. Eli, Aster, which hootling is this? Aster, that's Simon. He's very sweet, but be careful. He can be a bit clumsy and he likes to get into everything. Just yesterday he knocked a priceless crystal ball off the shelf and I spent half the day cleaning up the pieces. You turn back to the shelf just in time to catch a glass vial that Simon tipped over. Eli, alright, Simon, you can either go on my shoulder or back to your nest, but you gotta get out of the way. Simon, whoo! Simon ruffles his feathers as he hoots at you. Then he hops onto your arm and climbs up to your shoulder. You start sorting through the vials, glancing over at Aster. Aster, I really appreciate you doing this, Eli. It's a lot of work running the shop all by myself. Eli, couldn't you ask the other nymphs for help? Aster, oh, well, I'm one of the only mobile nymphs currently. The others have already rooted, or they're still seedlings. Eli, what do you mean by, and the options are rooted or seedlings? Let's go. What do you mean by rooted? Aster, that's the first step a nymph takes to becoming a tree. My father started rooting about a year ago. That's why he couldn't manage the shop anymore. Eli, so at a certain age you just turn into a tree? Aster, it's a slow process, but as soon as we put down our first roots, we can no longer walk. My mother hasn't rooted yet, but she wants to grow in a nice piece of ground right by my father, so she doesn't go out much. Eli, wood nymph culture is so weird. Simon, hurf, or like hurf, and he's like looking kind of like annoyed. Simon pokes you with his beak, feathers ruffled in annoyance. Eli, sorry, I just mean it's so different from what I'm used to. Aster, I don't know if it's that different. I suppose we do live longer than humans. But when you're a baby, it's not like you can do much on your own, and when you get old, it's hard for you to move. It's the same for us. Eli, I guess that's true. Aster, see? That's why the shop is important. It's a place where we can learn about each other. Eli, I'm surprised your family runs a shop at all, considering. Aster, well, our shop has been around for a very long time, since before Penn Square was even here. At this point, it'd be a shame to let it go. Apparently we almost closed up during the Wand Wars because of how dangerous it was, but my grandfather kept us open. Eli, so, and then the options are, who opened the shop? Or, what was your grandfather like? Or, who will run the shop after you? Let's go. So, what was your grandfather like? Aster, he was amazing. Even when all the other nymphs wanted him to turn away from the attuned, he stood strong. Eli, why'd he do that? Aster, he believed that the shop was a place where people could come together. There are items from all walks of life here. The attuned could learn more about other cultures, and we could learn about them. Eli, I see where you get your love of the world from. Aster, my grandfather's the one who told me to follow my dreams, no matter where they might take me. You take a step back from the shelf full of vials. Eli, everything here is colour-coded. Where do you want me to go next? Aster, can you start looking through those drawers? If you can just organise them well enough that they can close, that'd be great. You move over to a nearby drawer that is overflowing with various trinkets. Simon hops onto the edge, digging through the items with his beak. He picks up a small marble that you snatch from his mouth. Eli, that's not for eating. You can look, but don't touch anything. Simon tilts his head at you, then gives a quick nod. Simon, whoo! You turn back to the drawer, digging through it. Inside, you find a box labelled "Not for Sale." Eli, hey Aster, what are these? Aster, oh, that's my private collection. I put the items in there that I just couldn't bear to sell. You notice a necklace that seems to radiate heat, a shiny gold coin, and a seashell that glows in the low light. Tell me about this, and the options are this coin, and it's like a pirate coin it looks like, and then this amulet, and it's like a necklace with a red amulet on it. And there's a blue and purple seashell, and if you know me, you know I'm going to go for the seashell. Aster, that's from one of the merfolk's coral cities. You can use it to communicate, though its twin is still somewhere in the ocean. If you listen closely, you can hear what's happening on the other side. You hold the seashell up to your ear and listen. You hear waves, bubbles, and strangely distorted voices. Eli, what are they saying? Aster, I wish I knew. It's just so difficult to make out speech underwater, and every time I've tried to talk into it, no one answers. But one day they're bound to hear me. I just have to keep trying. You gently pull a piece of cloth out of Simon's mouth. You lift him up and set him on your shoulder again, before turning back to Aster. Aster, there's so much out there I want to see and learn. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. Eli, there's definitely so much out there for you to discover. Aster, like what? Eli, let's see. Boba, airplanes, the internet. Aster, oh, I know about the internet. I tried to make a web page for the shop once. I even collaborated with a whole family of spiders. But I don't think it drew in any new customers. Eli, that's not... You know what? Close enough. Aster lets out a wistful sigh, smiling to herself. Aster, if I get into Pendergast, I'd love to have your help learning about all the special attuned things. Eli, I'll be happy to show you around. You finish straightening the drawer and successfully close it. Aster, thanks for sticking around to help, Eli. It was nice having someone to hang out with while I work. Setting up shop, you helped Aster organise the shop. Eli, and we'll be able to hang out even more when you get into Pendergast. Aster, when? But how do you know? Eli, Aster, you've worked really hard for this. If anyone can do it, you can. Aster, you're right. I just have to stay positive. Simon, whoo! Eli, I'm sure Aster will have room in her dorm for you too, Simon. You pay Aster for the outfit and start toward the door when she calls you back. Aster, I hope you find what you're looking for tonight. Eli, thanks Aster. With a wave, you leave Aster's shop and head back to Pendergast. That night, you and Atlas sneak down to the foyer. Despite the warm glow of the lights, the hallway is eerily still and quiet. You peek around the corner at the door, the sentry from before standing nearby. Eli, And then she's whispering this. Looks like the sentry is still on guard. Atlas, remember, we can't let it see us or hear us. Otherwise, the professors will know we've been poking around. Eli, so what's the plan? Atlas, we'll have to sneak by. I'll kill the light so it can't see us. Then we'll just have to quietly move past it. Eli, my enchanted outfit should make this easy. Atlas, nice thinking, but still, we need to be cautious. If it catches us, that's the end. With a final glance at you, Atlas steps out into the foyer. She raises her hand and the lights flicker before going out. Sentry, who goes there? You and Atlas stay quiet, and you hear a soft hum and a light starts to glow inside of the helmet. Then a beam of light shoots out of the eye slit on the opposite side of the room and begins to sweep toward you. Eli, I have to hide. I should blend into the shadows. Atlas floats herself onto the ceiling while you slide into a shadowy corner of the room. Your outfit flickers and shifts until you're nearly invisible. The beam of light passes right over you without stopping. Eli, this outfit was a good call. Sentry, no visual anomalies. Checking perimeter now. The beam of light fades away and you and Atlas come out of hiding. You hear the shifting of metal as though the suit of armor has started moving around the room, but you can't see it in the darkness. Eli, I need to get to the hallway, but how do I do that when I don't even know where the sentry is? I should, sneak over to Atlas. You slide over to your sister, your footsteps not making a sound as you join her. Atlas grabs your shoulders and nudges you to the right. Eli, that must be where I need to go. You and Atlas creep over to the hall, keeping to the right. Sentry, perimeter clear, returning to post. As you reach the entrance to the hallway, Atlas takes a step forward and the floorboard creaks quietly. She looks to you wide-eyed, putting a finger to her lips. Eli, I need to be careful or the noise will draw the sentry right to us. I should creep into the hall. You gingerly step into the hall, moving carefully. The floorboards don't make a sound. Eli, looks like we're in the clear. You hear the sentry head back into the foyer. Sentry, all clear. Eli, well, looks like we did it. Atlas, not bad. Seems like you're getting the hang of this. Knight Rider, you easily snuck by the sentry. Eli, I've got a good teacher. Suddenly, you hear soft humming from down the hall. You turn and spot Professor England facing away from you. Atlas grabs you and pulls you into an alcove. Eli, all right, now we just have to deal with him. Atlas, I'll disguise you as the Dean and you'll get him to let us inside. Eli, I still can't believe you can do that. Atlas, well, believe it. I've been studying advanced magic since I was 5. But remember, I can only make the spell last for 5 minutes. You'll have to convince him before the spell wears off. Eli, there's no guarantee that he'll stay away even if the Dean tells him to. Atlas, do you have anything that we could use to distract him? Eli, actually. You reach into your pocket and pull out the red marble, showing it to Atlas. Eli, maybe this could help? A fire spell would definitely be distracting, but one of us would have to stay behind and use it. Atlas, not necessarily. I can charm it to have a delayed effect. That would buy us more time once we're inside. And the options are, use it or save it, and we are going to save this for now, so let's save it. Eli, I might need it later. Besides, we don't want to accidentally light the school on fire. Atlas, speak for yourself. Now, you just have to think about how the Dean speaks, otherwise the spell won't work properly. You close your eyes. Eli, I remember her saying, and the options are, love the enthusiasm, or I'm not a woman known for second chances, or using offensive magic on another student is strictly prohibited. We are going to say, I remember her saying, I'm not a woman known for second chances. Atlas places her hand on your shoulder, and you feel magic burst from her fingers, rippling over your skin. Eli, and she looks like the Dean. How do I look? Atlas, exactly as you're supposed to. I'm surprised. That spell isn't an easy one. Now, cut the chit-chat. You've only got 5 minutes. Atlas shoves you into the hall. You straighten your posture and tilt your chin up as you step out of the alcove. You walk calmly over to Professor England. Professor England. Ah, Dean Goff. I didn't expect to see you tonight. How are you? Eli. And the options are great, or just fine, thank you, or pretty good. How about you? And now we have to try to pretend to be Dean Goff. So we are going to say, I'm just fine, thank you. Professor England. I'm glad to see you aren't too shaken up by what's happened. Eli. I'm actually in a hurry, so I'd appreciate if we could keep this short. Professor England. Oh, right, of course. You're a very busy woman. I don't imagine you came down here just to chat with me. Eli. No, I actually need to examine the Hall of Mirrors. Professor England. Really? But I thought you wanted to keep the room quarantined just to be safe. We don't want to risk another act of vandalism, especially since some poor students got caught in the crossfire. They must have been so frightened. He shakes his head and turns back to you. Professor England. Why do you need to go inside? The investigators already finished their report. Eli. And then the options are just do, or want to know what they found, or need to double check their results. We're going to say, I need to double check their results. I don't trust these amateurs. We need a thorough investigation to ensure such a breach in our security doesn't happen again. Professor England. Understood. I can only hope we'll have this fully resolved soon. Is there anything I can do to help? Eli. Yes, you can leave me alone. Professor England. Are you sure? I promise you, I could be of some assistance. Eli, and then the options are you implying I can't handle myself, or I'm sure, I've got this, or will you just leave? We're gonna go, are you implying I can't handle myself? Professor England. No, not at all, Dean. I was just trying to make myself useful. Eli. If I need assistance, I will ask. Until then, I would prefer if you leave me in peace. Mirror image. Professor England was fooled by your disguise. Professor England. Well, don't let me get in your way, ma'am. The room is all yours. Just holler if you need me. Eli. I doubt that will be necessary. Hang on. I have one more request. You take a deep breath, pushing away your emotions as you place your hand on Professor England's shoulder and stare into his eyes. Eli, and then she's cast a moon spell. I need you to tell me everything you know about what happened here. Professor England. Of course. As you know, almost all the mirrors inside the hall were damaged, but repairs were relatively simple and the room is secure now. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Only a few students were nearby when it happened. They were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. We currently believe these were the acts of a single individual working alone. However, there's a strong chance that individual is still here at the college. Eli. Do you have a list of suspects? Professor England. Not yet, but based on the level of magic used, the individual is most likely a member of the staff or an upperclassman. You see the wariness slowly returning in his eyes and you quickly remove your hand from his shoulder. Over the moon, you used the moon spell to get information from Professor England. Eli. That will be all, thank you. Professor England gives you a nod before wandering off down the hall, humming to himself again. Once he's out of sight, Atlas sneaks over to your side. Atlas. Not bad. I'm impressed. But I don't think he's going to stay gone for long. You and Atlas step into the Hall of Mirrors just as the spell fades, returning you to your normal appearance. The room looks just like the first time you saw it. Atlas. It didn't take them very long to repair everything. Eli. So why is it still blocked off then? It doesn't look like there's any evidence left to collect. Atlas. There is, if you have the right supplies. Atlas pulls a handful of strange objects out of her pocket and crushes them in her fist. They crumble to dust in her hand, which she raises in front of you. Atlas. See? Ooh, and the room's gone kind of like a negative image. It's like dark where it used to be light. Eli. Whoa, what was that? Atlas. A moon spell that lets you see magic that's been used recently. Suddenly, you hear a soft, humming voice, along with footsteps approaching the room. Eli. He's back already? Atlas. Hurry, look around. You examine the mirrors, which each glow with an otherworldly light. Then, Atlas calls you over. Atlas. Eli, come look at this. You hurry over to find her standing in front of the same mirror that she fell through. While the mirror still glows, every so often the glow disappears, bits of darkness flickering at the edges. Eli, why does this mirror look different from all the others? Atlas, because someone sabotaged it. Someone took the wards off. Eli, which means? Atlas, the wards are the protective shield that prevents intruders from just showing up on campus. Every mirror is supposed to have them. Without them, the monsters could just walk right in. Hell, Rafe himself could have come to get you. Eli, then why hasn't he done that before? Atlas, the wards can only be taken down on this side of the portal. You'd have to be on the school grounds to manipulate them. That's why I got stuck in the mirror dimension. I couldn't take the wards down from that side. Not to mention that only a select number of people know how to manipulate wards, since the magic is so complex. Eli, so you're saying what? Atlas, there's someone powerful inside Pendergast who wants you dead. Dun dun dun. Chapter 12 complete. So that was chapter 12. A pretty good chapter, lots of interesting scenes and some a fun new outfit and lots of clues to see if we can figure out what's going on. And I do hope that you are enjoying this series and my videos and my voiceovers and narration so far. If you are enjoying them, please do consider giving them a like, just so that I know that other people are enjoying them too. And yeah, either way, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!